Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown, episode 411. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Sup, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch.
Sup, people?
And Brian Majoma.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen and landed into the Gearbox.
Oh, boy. We will talk about that. All right, people, how y'all doing? Hey, Brian, did you hear that the new Black Panther movie is the greatest movie of all time, according to critics?
Yeah, I actually heard that it's actually the first time that they've had a black superhero in a film.
Yeah, isn't that something? Never had one of those.
Wait a minute. Is it the greatest superhero, the greatest superhero movie since the last Black Panther movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No. This is the first Black Panther, though. I guess.
The first Black Panther.
And Blade doesn't count because he was half vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, since you guys are talking about this,
yeah.
I have been seeing, and I've noticed this recently, a lot of people are starting to come to at least my side of the argument where it says that, you know, MCU hasn't been that good. So I'm just glad that people are going back to...
Yeah, absolutely. It's been trash, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, People aren't saying trash, but they're saying, you know, it's not a lot of people, it's anecdotal, obviously, but...
Yo, Carlos,
you know,
man, I've been saying that's from before Phase 4 started, you know? Just like I've been saying this generation's trash before it started, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and the thing with Phase 4, it's like, how the hell are you going to follow up freaking that?
Follow up Endgame?
With literally anything.
Yeah, anything but this trash they're giving us, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're just intentionally lowering the bar. Right? They're like, we've built this show. We can't keep making movies like this. We need to lower expectations or we're never going to do well again.
Yo, there's lowering the bar and then there's like dropping it.
They just dropped it into like a chasm, you know?
They didn't ease us into it. It just fell off the cliff. It just went over.
Trash. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the MCU. We are here to talk about the video games. Before we start, though, I want to give a shout out to the Crashing Game Night podcast. I was on their show on Tuesday because they were celebrating episode 200 of their podcast, which is pretty crazy.
Ah, nice. Respectable.
You know? Yeah, very, very cool. So shout out to those. You know, they gave me a bunch of props and stuff because when they were starting out, I promoted them and stuff. Really good guys. Even back then, when they were starting out, I could tell the professionalism. And obviously, you know, they've had a bunch of voice actors. Like, for example, recently they had the voice actress of Freya. She was on their show. She's going to be back on again. Right. They had on the show I was on. I wish I would know this dude's name, but he's another kind of big time voice actor and stuff. Does some anime and stuff. He was in Judgment as well. But it goes to show you, you know, you wouldn't have people of that caliber going on your podcast if you're crap. You know, so shout out to Crashing Game Night. Good bunch of dudes.
Good stuff.
You know, so go check out their podcast. They're on Twitter as well. But, you know, go check out before Twitter implodes. Crashing Game Night. But yeah, with that, let's get into some news, and we're gonna actually by the way, our boy once again, Phil Spencer, making headlines, you know, because all he needs to do is just do one interview, and then that one interview will spawn like a legion of fucking headlines, you know.
I got feelings about this.
He's Phil Spencer is like Sauron whenever he explodes and he like literally knocks everybody over. Every single time that he has an interview, that something like that happens.
Yeah, exactly. And Manny, I guess you already know. Get ready later on for some Phil Spencer featured image again. He's our favorite. You know what you should do one time? You should just have a picture of Vince Vaughn and see if anybody notices.
It's funny. Speaking of like Phil Spencer young actually looks way different than he does look old.
Really?
Yeah, like skinny young Phil Spencer actually looks quite a bit different than current older.
Yeah, because he looks like he works out or something. You know, he kind of has like a Vince McMahon thing going on. You know.
So that way he's like whenever Sheedy shows up, he's like, "It was me, Austin."
Guess you know what I'm talking about? He has that Vince McMahon physique, Oh man, where is he? Where is that son of a bitch? Anyway, so first thing we have here, Phil Spencer says that the Xbox business will become unattainable if it's irrelevant on mobile. And also tied in, he also said the real reason for the Activision Blizzard thing was they wanted Candy Crush. Crazy, right? Basically, he was talking about how most of gaming gets its money. I think it's $200 billion or something. That's the revenue of gaming. Most of that actually comes from the mobile market, and that console and PC sales have pretty much just flatlined. That flatlined, they've stalled. They're not really going up or down. They just remain kind of there.
Plateaued.
Yeah, plateau. There you go. But this is something we've told people many, many times. It's like most of the gaming revenue comes from mobile gaming, and this is why you have games trying to inject mobile gaming shit into actual real games that we play.
It's also because the mobile industry has the eye of the casual market.
Yeah,
people who don't really care about it, care about what's what. Just like, okay, people just looking to, spend a little time, but obviously they put those microtransactions on top of it to sort of, essentially tricking people into paying for certain parts of it.
I want to read some of this up before we get into it, because there's something interesting that he said. This is because remember, Phil Spencer is kind of known as the good guy, right? But this was pretty interesting. He goes, the idea that Activision is all about Call of Duty on console is a construct that might get created by our console competitor. And then he went on to say, I haven't heard Nintendo saying that. So he's obviously talking about Sony here.
Throwing some shade.
Yeah, throwing some shade. So he's saying like that whole narrative was just constructed by Sony. Whoa, pretty interesting. But Brad, I know you got some thoughts about this whole thing.
He just speaking truth.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever I sit down with a tattoo client, because they're trying to talk to somebody who's not an artist or not used to dealing with artists about art, the first thing you have to do, I found, this translates to other arguments too, nail down your definitions, right? So I kind of want to point out, the only correlation between gaming and mobile gaming is they both are kind of called the same thing, right? There's no actual crossover in those markets. The people buying PCs are not the people playing Candy Crush. The people playing Candy Crush aren't, saving up for that Titan, right? It's not the same people. It's not the same. It's not generally even the same companies that do this. That's one of the things that was kind of unique about Activision, is that they have a foot in the mobile space. And I read all of what he was saying, and I think that honestly I don't think he was being intentionally disingenuous, but I feel like the wording that he used was not optimal, because it appears to me what he's basically saying is we don't have a foot in the mobile gaming space. He's acknowledging that it's a different space than they're in, and they don't have any feelers in that. For that to be true, you have to acknowledge they're kind of almost separate industries. But understand that you want to get into both, and that console gaming is it's not really, console gaming and PC gaming have both plateaued. Mobile gaming or console gaming and PC gaming have plateaued. Mobile gaming has been making more money. I think where the confusion honestly comes in, and he said he wants people to be able to play their game on every device, right? This is more of a move about building a bridge to get their ecosystem on your tablet or phone than it is, trying to bring Candy Crush to the masses. So I understand why they're going there. I understand that they want to be represented in the mobile gaming space, but the way that he said it, just from people's reactions, seemed to think that he's disparaging video gaming. He's basically just saying this is an industry that makes a ton of money, and we want a piece of that. And it's not unreasonable to want a piece of that. It's not about Call of Duty. It's about the money that's bringing in this, and we don't currently have anything in that field. So we can either
Nothing,
grow it or buy it.
nothing nothing like throwing money at it to essentially get you to enter into that market. It's funny because it's like, rather than, like if Microsoft really did care so much about the mobile market, how come they didn't invest in it in their own?
Well, because they probably didn't see it as a big thing when it was coming up. They see it now as a big thing.
To be honest, buying Candy Crush is obviously the easiest answer because it has such a hold on it. It's the epitome of zeitgeist, general audience gaming.
Yeah, but remember,
it's almost like it's like, okay, we really want to get into multiplayer, online, online games. Okay, buy Overwatch or buy Fortnite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and he said this a while ago, right? He said that he wants Xbox Game Pass on mobile devices because that's billions of people. He said this.
No,
right?
that makes perfect sense. But the thing about it is that those games, the games that gamers like to play, namely us, and the games that mom and dad and little Jimmy like to play, you waste a little bit of time on their phone, are two totally different things.
And that's something I brought up too. And again, anecdotal, but I think it's a perfect example. Brett, you've told me the story, and it stuck with me ever since you told me this story. You were at your tattoo shop. You saw a guy playing a mobile game. You handed him a Switch, and he said, "No, I don't want to play this."
Yeah, I want to play Castle Crashers.
So it goes to show you the different mentality there. So, like, I understand. Like, here's the thing. From a numbers perspective, it makes sense. Okay, there are billions of people on mobile. If we get mobile gaming on these devices, we're good to go. But the thing is, most of those people are not playing the kind of games like they say that we play. They're playing these, as I call them, clicky games. Click, 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 click. You don't have to think. There's no involvement. There's no sense of immersion or anything. It's just turn my brain off, take a shit, and then click on this fucking screen.
There's very little barrier to entry. You touch it and it happens.
Yeah.
For a game.
No, I was just gonna say, just for me, I feel stupider playing these games. I really do. I feel like a fucking like a monkey just hitting a screen. Which is probably what they want.
It sort of takes advantage of that sort of addictive nature that causes. I mean, it's the same shit that Twitter does.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the same thing
they're getting into your head, that part of your brain, that obsessive part of your brain, and then giving you those little bits of endorphin kicks to keep you going forward.
Mobile games are terrible. Anyway, go on.
Look at this,
tell me how you really feel, Tony.
Like certain gaming companies owning, stakes in pachinko, right? They're not confusing pachinko and the video games that they produce. They just have their hands in both because there's a shitload of money in pachinko.
No, there's two, because the pachinko, the pachinko industry or the gambling industry, if we're talking about the same company that owns those things, it is in essence the same idea. It's as opposed to it, being addictive and being in a specific place like a casino. It's addictive and it's sitting in the palm of your hands.
Yeah. But it's just interesting stuff here. But again, not surprising. Like that's what mobile is, where the money's at, so they want that.
It's something that and a couple of companies have tried to make more more complicated sort of titles for mobile,
and it doesn't work.
And Ryan Payton tried to do Republic for the mobile, and it really didn't work out. It actually did better when it came to consoles. So it's like, do people really want to play something like that and invest the time, into all that stuff? I think it's just a lot of it's just like they just want to, get in and out.
Well, and this is, I'm definitely going to have trouble explain this, but I feel like this is more, if everybody acts like this is mobile gaming's going to come to consoles, right? Or we're losing some portion of our domain to mobile games. Like that's not it at all. This is literally them just doubling down and saying, we already have the assets, and we're buying assets to be able to do this. Like, let's just double dip. It has no relevance to people who are playing on consoles or PC, other than the fact that their projects might be more well-funded.
See, the thing is that though, I think in a lot of senses that they are a lot of times they're trying to get that addictive nature into the world of console games and PC games, but ultimately it doesn't work. You know?
Do you think that's? I mean, I guess I can see that's kind of the influence of the mobile market being so successful, but I don't really see a lot of mobile developers like parasitically leeching into the gaming industry.
No, I'm not talking about them parasitically, but essentially taking aspects of mobile games and essentially enacting them into.
Oh yeah, well that's the problem.
And obviously, some of them do work, and then some of them don't. But it's like there was definitely a point when they were aggressively trying to do very similar things, and they weren't working out. I feel because they didn't realize it was a different audience that they were trying to get addicted to these things.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the problem with anytime somebody has a successful grift is that everybody then wants to try and copy it. I don't even know if, like
exactly.
It's not even so much like there's a connection between the industries as much as like that's how humanity and greed works.
Yeah, whereas so essentially it's like, okay, well, this thing works in other space. Let's see if it'll work in here.
Yep.
Oh, okay, it doesn't work here.
I feel like you guys are looking at it the wrong way in terms of should we worry about mobile games being prominent in consoles? I don't think that's
about that.
I'm not worried about it. Who's worried?
Twitter is.
No, Brett mentioned it's like, well, should we expect to see mobile games in crossover to the consoles?
Happen, you know?
No, I mean to be honest,
they got two different audiences. You know,
it's different audiences.
You put that kind of drivel on a console, no one's gonna like that shit.
Exactly. Some of the stuff has made it over, but it's a very small. Like Candy Crush did make it over to the consoles, but obviously you see they didn't make multiple editions of it. They just put it out like in PS3 era, and then just like it didn't work.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like that's not the issue that you should worry about. I think the issue that people should worry about is the fact that Microsoft, when they see the success that Candy Crush is making, what probably Minecraft is making on the mobile space, is the fact that these are high revenue, high margin style video games, meaning it takes a lot less to make, but they make a lot more money.
Exactly.
And
you got to make a lot more of them because the whole industry is finicky and almost chooses winners at random.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you have those types of games, and when you have that business strategy, and you have that track record at that point, sometimes hit management. The stuff that you do have to worry about is management saying, "Hey, you know what? What's the point of making an Alan Wake game?" I'm just bringing up a game out of random. I know it's not part of Microsoft, but like an Alan Wake game or why are we making SOCOM or any these types of games? Like we can just make Halo Crush and we'll make millions, and it takes like 2 cents.
You just explained Konami.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They exactly said that same thing. Where it's like, why are we spending millions of dollars making these Kojima games when we're making more than whatever this guy's making with less of a development time and less of a cash investment?
But see, that's where Microsoft kind of finished that loop out, right? Like, why develop multi-million-dollar games if you could just make a Candy Crush and print billions? Well, you can't make a Candy Crush and print billions, so you have to make 90 games and hope one of them kicks on. Well, why make 90 games when you can just buy the one that kicks on? Cue Microsoft.
Yeah. I mean, they happen, and they also, I mean, they stumbled upon 2 cash cows with Call of Duty. Call of Duty, even though it doesn't compare to Candy Crush, it is no slouch in its own right. But
I would say the Call of Duty franchise is a little bit more of a general audience title. It's I mean, granted, they're hardcore players, but I definitely think that it's a very zeitgeist sort of a surface level sort of game.
Well, this is it. This is it. They got the third party and they got the open world. Got to play on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Microsoft's going to eventually have the problem of what to do when Candy Crush's appeal wears off. Like you're gonna have the
Yeah.
Disney dilemma. You either try to make your own. You can make John Carter, or you could buy Lucasfilm, right?
Mhm.
Get Star Wars, and then it's like, well, oh, okay, we own this, but we have to make more, and you make more, but it's trash, right? So they're eventually gonna run into that issue. I was making this point.
Wait.
Huh?
Don't you think they can just wait behind all the cart? Let the
Well,
mobile industry just kind of go free for all and buy the winner?
Well, I mean, you can only acquire so much stuff. Look how much trouble they've had now acquiring Activision Blizzard, right? If they keep absorbing,
you can buy individual IPs though. Like that industry is so cutthroat that like I do see a lot of the tech industry kind of having the cycle of small company tries something, hope it works to get bought out by a bigger company, and that's basically the bigger company's way of outsourcing risk, right? So you just throw a bone into the pile, see who fucking fights to the top, and be like, all right, I'll take you.
yeah, I mean, they could go like Microsoft could go buy Raid Shadow Legends or whatever is hot right now, right? And just keep absorbing these titles, but eventually, like they stagnate. Like you have to continue to support these things, right? And look at Angry Birds. Angry Birds at one point was the hot game, and then it stagnated. Like there's going to be a period of profitability, and then there's going to be stagnation, drop off, or somebody's going to make something that's going to be the next lightning, and people will move over to that thing. And then if that thing is not yours, you have to make the decision like, well, I'm going to buy the next thing, right? I'm not going to develop it. I'm just going to go over there and buy it. And they could do that, but I think again, I was making the argument like there's chasing the mobile market is fine, like for the short-term revenue, but he's not answering the question. It was like, well, why has console gaming plateaued? Have you explored that, or is it easier in the room to look at an Excel sheet and go, well, look at how much revenue that's making. Let's go over there, right? And that's my problem with that type of thinking. Like the main crux of your acquisition of Activision's Blizzard, it's like, well, Candy Crush generates this much money. Just buy the whole thing. We get Warcraft, and you get Call of Duty, and you get all this other shit with it, and then we'll figure it out later. But we want that revenue machine that's Candy Crush, And I do have a problem with that because there's very short-term thinking in that. It's like, well, now you have acquired all this other tech debt from all this other pieces that you have to support. You have to support all of Blizzard, everything else Activision has. And then, but at the same time, you haven't solved the essential question of like, okay, how do you engage more people on console? Or how do you push Xbox further so then you don't have to worry about console? But now you've chased after the mobile market. And I think that a part of me thinks it's a mistake.
Yeah, well,
that's a lot of responsibility for Phil Spencer's shoulders. Even though they do look like Vince McMahon's shoulders. That's still gonna wait.
Oh man, interesting stuff. Anyway, some more Phil Spencer news. He's been saying this like every 3 months it seems, but now he has come out to say Call of Duty is staying on PlayStation. It ain't going nowhere.
Okay, he keeps saying it.
He has to keep saying it so people don't believe him. You know? It's hilarious.
I still believe they plan to pull the rug out.
You still think
so? At least for now.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to do it.
Well, I think it's like Adam said. You're going to get the whatever Call of Duty they give you. Like Call of Duty will stay on PlayStation, but it's not going to be the hotness Call of Duty. That's going to be Xbox exclusive. But Warzone and whatever kind of spin-off title, like, okay, that's PlayStation will get that. I think that's eventually what's going to happen. So they can't argue like, hey, we don't have a Call of Duty. Yeah, you do. We gave you a Call of Duty Kids. What are you talking about? It's great.
Call of Duty Kids.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
you got Nerf guns. You got everything. What are you talking about?
I did see the parts of the interview, and I think you might have listened to the Throwdown when he was talking, because he was like, and we're not going to try to do the rope-a-dope where you have to subscribe to Game Pass on PlayStation, play Call of Duty. We're not going to do that, and we're not going to do this. And he said a couple of that stuff, like, just to try to debunk it. But I'm with Manny here. It's like you're this is a quote unquote handshake agreement. Like we're taking you at your word, and that doesn't work right now. Like we hardly like trust anyone these days. So why should we trust you?
You know what it is? Because I'm reading his statement. It's still kind of wishy-washy. And let me read it, and then I'll tell you. I'm pretty sure you can figure out what it is. We think Call of Duty will be on PlayStation as long as players want to play Call of Duty on PlayStation. And that's not a competitive threat against PlayStation. That's just a pragmatic way of looking at it. He goes, we think.
Yeah.
That leaves the door open. You know, so he's probably gonna have to make this statement again in February. Matter of fact, Miss Cleo moment right now. I'm saying it. He's gonna say this shit in February, March. He's gonna say this again.
But this whole thing is still bullshit. Like, why do they even have to? Like, the fact that he has to convince people that they're keeping Call of Duty on all platforms. Like, they shouldn't need to. They should just be allowed to buy it. Like, they're not a megalith. They're not a monopoly. They're not even the biggest gaming company.
Again, they didn't get this much scrutiny when they bought Bethesda. No one was like, "Oh, you're gonna take Doom away." No one said that stuff. But because it's Call of Duty, it's getting all the scrutiny. You know?
Yeah, but just the whole narrative of like why they can't, like, oh, if you buy Call of Duty, then what? Then it's going to be a monopoly, and there's nobody's going to be able to stand against you. You're just going to hold the whole market. Like, come on, PlayStation. Like, are you saying, like, you're just going to become immediately the number 2 game company if Microsoft acquires Activision? That's not going to fucking happen. Even if it did happen, it would take years for Microsoft to build up that kind of reputation. They're on an upslope, but it's not that kind of underdog story, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, but he's going to have to do it again. But again, all this is because of Call of Duty. By the way, did you guys see that hoopla that happened with what is that? The FTC? What is the British FTC equivalent? CMA or whatever? Anyway,
something like that.
So one of the guys, one of the regulators said, "Oh, blah blah blah. We still want to have Call of Duty on my PlayStation." Those 2 words cause fucking chaos
on his PlayStation. He's like, he wants a COD, yo.
Yeah. So so basically, a bunch of angry gamers came at this organization saying that they were biased, and then they had to come and go, no, his statements don't reflect us, It's a fucking mess, man.
I want Call of Duty on my PlayStation.
Yeah. But I don't know if the guy apologized, but they had to say, like, he's not speaking for us, because people were accusing him, and understandably so, they're accusing him of being biased, If you have this organization going, hey, I want Call of Duty on my PlayStation, it's going to get dudes crazy.
Is it Dr. Fanboy?
Maybe it was. Maybe it was Dr. Fanboy. Let me look this up because I gotta get this quote exactly. It was fucking chaos, man. What's the name of that? Oh, here we go. European Commission response as staff member says, COD. Is this it? Oh, it's from Eurogamer. I'm gonna get hit with the fucking
the ad.
Shit. Yeah, here we go. And I turned them off.
Damn.
Oh, I can't read the statement. God damn it, Eurogamer. European.
But yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
It's, I do understand. I sort of understand every perspective in this one. Like, I understand Brett's perspective where it's like, I mean, they're spending $70 billion for the rights. Like, why worry about it if it's not going to be truly a monopoly, since Sony and Tencent are still a huge chunk of the gaming sphere. But I also do understand a lot of, and it looks like this person that was involved in this committee was a Sony fan, because it's like, I play Call of Duty on my PlayStation, motherfucker. You try to take this away from me?
Yeah.
No, they don't want. PlayStation fans genuinely do not want Microsoft to be competitive. They don't want them to have a fighting chance.
Well,
which is fucking stupid, because competition is good for all of us, the consumers.
Well, it's not that deep.
No, it's not that deep.
Most people who play Call of Duty aren't the people that think about this kind of stuff. It's people who just play Call of Duty all the time in their PlayStation and talk with their friends.
I'm talking about Jim Ryan, the bitch.
What's that?
So I'm talking about that bitch Jim Ryan.
Well, Jim Ryan is I understand his perspective, because he's trying to do everything in his power to not lose Call of Duty, which is understandable. But it's a losing battle because he obviously doesn't have $70 billion to spend on this thing. So I can understand both sides, and then there's the other side where it's kind of like the Brian side where it's like, well, this is like point anti-consumer kind of stuff, and there's that conversation as well. So there's a couple of different angles you can take into this whole thing, and there's obviously the fanboy conversations as well, which is like whatever we can do to get the ammos to pew at the other side.
Fanboys don't care about whatever is healthy for the industry. They just care about getting their pot shots in or whatever, But I want to read this stuff. This dude is called Ricardo Cardoso. So he goes, the commission is working to ensure that you will be able to play Call of Duty on other consoles, including my PlayStation. He had that in parentheses. Also on our to-do list, update stock pictures. These gamers have wired controllers, whereas Xbox and PlayStation have wireless ones since 2006. Okay, that's kind of funny because they're showing a picture of like these two guys playing. It's like, who uses wired controllers now? And then later on, he had to make what was that? Okay, so he tweeted on November 8th, and on November 12th, he tweeted out to clarify, I'm not involved in the assessment of the merger and don't even work in the department dealing with mergers. As is clear from my profile, my comments are personal, not a commission position whose decision will be taken on the basis of the facts and the law. He obviously had to tweet that out after commission was like, yo, what the fuck? Because you had a bunch of angry gamers coming at them, and they weren't ready for that shit. Bias. It was the Xbox guys coming at them, wasn't it? It
seems like
yeah.
It's
funny because the Xbox guys don't say nothing about exclusives when it's their exclusives, But when it's just the other console, then they got a problem, Anyway, pretty interesting stuff. Let's move on here to other things. We're going to be covering this in December, obviously. But we got to talk about the Game Awards because there was controversy as always. So they announced their nominees for Game of the Year. And Throwdown was mostly right about these. Matter of fact, the only one we didn't talk about was the Plague game, The other ones, because remember, at first I was like, Horizon Forbidden West isn't going to get nominated. You, Carlos, correctly said, Tony, what else came out this year? I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. There it is. It got dominated by default, basically.
Yeah. By the way, just quick off topic. Look at Manny.
Yeah, Manny's frozen.
He's like, oh, interesting.
That's hilarious. Anyway, the nominees for Game of the Year are A Plague Tale, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray. We called that one too. We said that's going to be the token indie game. And the token Nintendo game was Xenoblade. We called all that shit, Oh, man, you finally unfroze. Good stuff. I'm not going to read all these other nominees and stuff, but one of the breakdowns is that, by the way, shout out to Benji Sales who broke this stuff down. The most nominated games at the Game Awards. God of War has 10 nominations. Elden Ring has 7. Horizon Forbidden West has 7. Stray has 6. A Plague Tale has 5. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has 3. Immortality has 3. Neon White has 3. Sifu has 3. Tunic has 3. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 also has 3. So there you go.
What happened to that vampire game that everyone was raving about?
Yeah,
didn't get nominated?
No, it didn't get. People were mad about that. They were like, "Why wasn't this nominated? This is the greatest game right now."
I mean, come on, you got to draw the line somewhere. They literally put a game that released a week before this stupid announcement was.
Actually, apparently, this game was out on like PC for like a bunch of months. It's just now gotten attention because it's on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, it's like Like, how does something like a Plague Shell get put in there? It literally released a week before this thing came out.
Oh, well, Plague Tale came out a while ago, though.
No, the new one.
Yeah, so it came out like before God of War.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it came out like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, so there you go. God of War.
So I mean,
maybe
no one was mad about
silly.
that. Yeah, no one was mad about that. You know.
Well, God of
War came out like a week before the nominees.
Yeah.
You know? But again, the people voting for this, they already had like 2 or 3 weeks to play this game. You know.
So let me ask you, Tony. You finished it. How do you think it's Game of the Year worthy?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know if it's my Game of the Year yet. I'm still debating. Elden Ring was too strong. You know. Because like God of War. Here's the thing about God of War, right? It has everything I want in a video game. It hits every single check mark, right? And it's what I expected God of War to be. Elden Ring, that shit, I had expectations for it, and they exceeded it, you know? And that game, I wouldn't normally nominate a game like that because the narrative, it does have a narrative, by the way, you fucking assholes going after Gene Park. You know, just had to throw that out there. Even though the narrative is not in your face, the gameplay is so compelling. The journey you go in that fucking game is so compelling. You know, it's Elden Ring, fucking that is the best game From Software has done by far. What a fucking masterpiece of a game it is. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna finish because I'm replaying God of War. I'm doing all the side quests, see how I feel about it. But man, I may have to pull a soccer and be like, hey, it's a tie, you know? Who knows, man? Elden Ring is fucking awesome.
The thing with God of War with me, now that I completed it, it exceeded my expectations in terms of the story. Because I just didn't expect the story to be as good as it was. And
I think at the end of the day, Carlos, not to cut you off, I think that's what's going to make people talk about this game for a long time. Not the gameplay. The gameplay's the same shit you got on PS4. Let's be real here. It's that story. It's that characters, man. It's like, the more you think about it, it's like, this is so fucking good, you know?
They dropped some quotes in that game. Man. I almost said movie.
It feels like that, you know?
It's very cinematic.
Have you ever been worshipped? Do you know what that kind of love is like? Man! Yo, you know? Power right there. Great fucking game, man. But as far as the others, you know how I always say with these awards, it doesn't matter who fucking wins. Who cares? You know? Whatever your game of the year is, that's your game of the year. That's what matters, you know? Manny, you're freaking people out because you're eating pancakes or something.
I'm eating cookies.
There you go, people. Calm down.
What? Pancakes?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's freaking out because he thought you were eating a syrupless pancake. No, it's just a cookie.
You're just eating dry pancakes.
It's just the cookie is like huge.
It's a big cookie.
You gotta love big cookie, man.
I mean, in fairness, that would be the mark of a psychopath.
A pancake?
Just eating a dry pancake while staring into the camera.
But yeah, Game Awards. We're gonna do our usual. We're gonna do our live stream on it and make fun of it for 2 hours or 3 hours. That shit was fucking long, you know.
Yeah.
So get ready for that. Yeah. That. By the way, I need to just talk about it real quick. That whole thing with Gene Park was so fucking stupid.
Well, what did they say?
Okay, so let's go back, right? So when these nominees were out, a bunch of people were big mad because one of the nominees for best narrative was Elden Ring. People were like, the game doesn't have any narrative. Fuck you talking about? Even some journalists were pissed off about this, right? So Gene Park explains how the game actually does have a narrative. Then a bunch of people, including journalists, went after him, right? After 2 days of this, Gene went the fuck off and just started telling people off, cursing at them, quote tweeting and stuff. Remember, this guy's going into surgery for cancer, so obviously he's not trying to deal with any of this shit, you know. And he since deleted some of these tweets, but I'm with Gene Park 100% on this, you know. And you people going after him should be ashamed of yourselves, you know, going after this guy who's suffering with cancer and shit, you know. And it's kind of funny, and I'm gonna say it right now, man. I don't care. You know, the same people who were talking about, we got to watch out for our Asian brothers and sisters. You're going after one of the most prominent Asian journalists out there. How does that make you look? You know, just throwing that out there too. Bunch of hypocrites, man. It really pissed me off because Gene, one of the greatest fucking journalists out there of any kind of fucking media, right? And you're going after him because he dared to say Elden Ring has a narrative. You people are pathetic, man.
I will say one thing. The only reason why Elden Ring even got nominated, you know why?
Because there's no games.
No, it's because fucking what's-his-face did the plot to the game.
George R. R. Martin?
George R. R. Martin. If George R. R. Martin had absolutely nothing to do with that game would not have popped up on there, because that would have also meant that the previous games that that From Software did would have shown up there.
That's a good point. Yeah,
best narrative.
Yeah.
No, it's a predictable choice, as with everything that Jeff Keighley is involved with.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with that.
And watch, if that game wins that award, who the fuck is gonna show up on that stage?
Yeah, and then me and Carlos are like, motherfucker, go back to write the book.
It's gonna look all good, because that's all the game awards is fucking posturing. You know, you get that popular person out there to accept the award. That's why, certain voice actors win over certain other ones, because it's like, why is that person winning?
Yeah. How do you guarantee you're going to get railroaded at your award ceremony?
Oh my God. That's going to happen. Miss Cleo moment again. Let's go.
Yeah.
I should be writing my book, but I'm here. Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, because I feel like it's going to tarnish what I feel is probably a well-deserved win, I'm going to say, yeah, there's too much politics here. They're going to get Railroad to show up, and the only way you're going to do that is give them an award.
Yep. Yeah, there you go. But everything I said about the whole thing with Gene Park is still accurate. You people should.
I just want to mention something real quick, Brett. I know you didn't do this intentionally, but what he said, it's going to tarnish.
Like,
who said I didn't do that shit intentionally?
Oh,
well, usually sometimes I give people too much credit, but if you did it intentionally, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
And if you didn't, I'm still proud of you.
I can't do my own damn rim shot over here. If it just flies over the radar, it just flies off the radar.
Yeah, Carlos, I'm the king of doing that shit. I'll say like the wittiest fucking pun and have no idea. I just said something witty. It happens all the time, man. All right. So moving on here, what else happened this week? Speaking about Elden Ring, the game has sold 17.5 million copies. Holy shit!
I hope they have a DLC in line, because that would
nice.
Definitely.
And it did this in 6 months, by the way.
That's pretty good.
Damn.
That's
I think there's definitely DLC. I think some guys broke open the game.
The guys that look into it, they're like,
they did. Yeah, there's stuff in there. Yeah, so it'll be DLC.
I mean, good for them. This has been the culmination of a long hard road and a lot of hard work. Like when you play the game, you can tell it's the culmination of every game that they've done before. Yep. So it's kind of fitting that they get recognition for it.
Yeah, so I had to throw it in there because that's pretty incredible stuff,
Tony, I know that this is not the right show, but do we have sales for that other game?
We do not. You mean one of the games that was nominated for Game of the Year?
That came out on the same day as Elden Ring?
Yes. No, we do not have sales figures.
Damn, was it the same day?
No, it wasn't the same day. It was like
a week or two before, right?
Yeah. The Zelda effect happened again.
Yeah, this is, man.
Always subverted by a Japanese game.
Yeah. Except this time it got subverted by a actual good game,
So did Sony throw Horizon under the bus, or did they just not expect Elden Ring to do as well as it did?
Probably. That's the second one. No one expected that. I'm pretty sure even software didn't see that coming,
Yeah, not to this scale.
No, not for sure. That's ridiculous. Good on them, man. All right, moving on here. Brian, Saints Row, man.
I laughed so hard. I'm not gonna
Wait, it was nominated?
No. Okay.
No.
So we're moving on. So Volition, the company that makes Saints Row, will become part of Gearbox after the disappointing sales of Saints Row. Like, okay, you guys can't do this. We'll do this for you then. Damn.
So wait.
Because Embracer Group kind of owns them, right? So they just kind of shifted them off to Gearbox. Like, okay, you guys fix this mess.
Oh damn! The whole studio got fired.
Crazy, right?
Wait, they all got fired?
I don't know if they got fired, but like,
No. The studio itself got fired from the project.
Oh yeah, they screwed it up so badly.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, it's.
Is it owned by Elon Musk?
Yeah,
oh.
Yo, by the way, not to go off topic, but literally every tweet I'm seeing right now on my timeline is Twitter's dead. Did I miss something? Like I don't
haven't
be fired a
been
bunch. I know a bunch of people like resigned. I think somebody in chat can let us know. But yeah, I'm just seeing everybody talking this shit. Like, Twitter's dead. Twitter's dead. You can find me here.
Didn't you know Twitter killed free speech by letting people say whatever they want?
Oh man, Mighty Nerd One. It will get a sale for me next year when I get my PlayStation 5 Slim. Don't buy Saint.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's just not worth your time and money. It's not worth the disk space.
Even if it's like a free PlayStation Plus game, don't download it. Don't do it.
It's a waste of bandwidth.
So is Gearbox just taking over Saints Row now?
Yeah.
Are they going to fix it?
I don't know how you. Well, I don't think you can fix this game. I think you have to start over.
This is what it says. Going forward, Volition will transition to become part of Gearbox, which has all the tools, including an experienced management team in the U.S. to create future success.
Experienced management team. Whoa, there's so many insults in that statement.
Yeah, wow. He goes, this is the first internal group transfer where we transfer a major studio between operative groups, but it's not the last.
Oh.
I mean, I wonder if this is a bit the state of that game is also somehow representative of the internal turmoil of that studio itself.
Yeah.
Maybe they were having a lot of problems in general, and that Saints Row was just all right, this is it, and it wasn't it.
I'm certain that they have a lot of problems.
I mean, you could tell by that fucking game, According to Volition, this major update is just the start of our ongoing support for Saints Row in 2002 and beyond. Stop it. Just stop it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Stop it. You don't need to.
They have to do Saints Row: A Realm Reborn.
Yeah, right.
No,
this will be a huge hat trick if they are somehow able to regain interest in this franchise, but with this specific game, whatever changes they have to do.
Well, they can't. They
can't, right?
I think it's so damaged. Like you'd literally at this point have to make Saints Row 5 and follow up whatever happened in the 4, bring back all the old characters.
You just relaunch it and pretend this one didn't happen, like the Hulk movie.
Yeah.
I guess the only thing that they can do.
This one's not even a numbered Saints Row. It's just
called Saints Row. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just call it. Just make a sequel to the previous Saints Row game that you essentially tried to reboot, right? Whatever version, whatever one that was. Was that 4 or 3?
It was 4. It was the last main line.
Just take that one. Take that. Call it Saints Row 5, and then bring back all the shit that people liked about Saints Row instead of trying to round the edges off.
Pull a Coke classic.
Mm-hmm.
Just make something so terrible that we return to the original formula. People love it.
This is their second. By the way, this for Volition. This is their second.
Crash. Agents of Mayhem was.
Agents of Mayhem didn't do very well for them either.
Yeah, it was terrible. I played that. It's not like this bad, but it wasn't a good game. I got bored. I was like, this game kind of sucks.
Yeah, it got boring.
Maybe that was it. They were just like, all right, we're allowing you doing the new Saints Row. That last thing, Agent of Mayhem didn't do good. Can you do this one? No. All right. To Gearbox you go.
Yeah, maybe they'll fix it. It's like give the franchise its teeth again,
Yeah.
The The only thing that they can do to like save this game, Manny, is if they somehow have like an update where the update uninstalls the game and then installs Saints Row 2 remastered. That's possibly the only thing that can save this game, to be fair.
Right, that would be the best patch ever. It's like, hey, what's happening?
Exactly.
It just swaps the
like Saints Row.
Wow, this is a totally different game.
Fuck. I'm getting distracted by all this shit on Twitter right now.
Oh no!
Well, you know,
Wait, they're still
from-
saying Twitter's dead?
I'm like, you guys have not. Have we forgotten Y2K in 2012? Come on now, you know the world isn't ending. It's okay. Fucking overdrive.
If anything, it's a good thing that it crashes and burns. Maybe
I hope it
everybody will
does.
get their fucking brains together.
We are literally living under the threat of World War III, and people are bitching about Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
What's amazing to me is like the main arguments, like what this week is like, oh, we're not getting free lunch anymore. It's like, motherfucker, most people don't get lunch from their job.
Exactly.
Go out and buy a sandwich.
What is it? What are you, Google?
Yeah, right.
What is this, Google?
I mean, he took away their free lunch, and they're flipping out like, "Oh, he's starving." I was like, "No, bitch, go buy a sandwich.
Go get.
You're making six figures.
Yeah.
Go down the street to the deli.
go
Buy
to
some
the
paper
deli.
bags.
Yeah. Go to the bodega on the corner. Buy yourself a
That's
cheap
right.
sandwich for like $2, and there you go.
That's crazy. All right.
Don't get mad at. Don't get. Also, if they remove your Pilates classes and your other things, don't get mad either. It's okay.
All right, you can pay for it like everyone else
You're
does.
good.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that I just started because I just finding this out right now. Apparently, a whole bunch of like Twitter employees got like a memo from Musk saying that to expect to work longer hours, more exhaustive hours, and they gave them an ultimatum like by this time, like let me know if you're in or not, and like apparently over 1,000 employees resigned.
All right.
That's fine.
Find some more people. There are plenty of engineers out there, you know.
I guess it's a good idea because then you get to cut the riffraff. Because the people that like, oh no, I have to do work.
What, I have to work hard?
I have to work. I was over here silent quitting, you know.
Wait, first the wine bar's closed. Now this, I'm out of here.
Fuck them, man. All right. Oh, we got speaking about bullshit. So it turns out PlayStation is actually working on NFTs and blockchain technology.
Of course they are.
Here we go. But the funny thing is they claimed they weren't, you know?
Oh, no. They
totally
lied?
Were.
Wait,
where's Brett?
Did Jim Ryan have something to do with this?
Funny thing is that like a couple months ago, I had this question that I was going to ask to you guys. Like, which of the big three will mention NFTs and blockchain first? But then I was like, nah, none of the big three would do that. That's way too stupid.
Jim Ryan did he ask you to hold his beer? You know, did the sun rise this morning? Did he lie? Shit.
It was like around like March time, like when like the whole like NFT thing was like starting just like ramp down, and it's like, yeah, usually this is like when like the big three like eventually move and like jump into the space. But I was like, no, it just seems a bit too dumb that they would, since they're seeing it dying and Square Enix is just floundering. So I thought they wouldn't, but I was wrong.
Yep.
See, Brian, what you missed was you didn't think, what if I hate my customers?
No.
Even then, it's just,
you know what
again, it just seems too much.
You know what it is? It's like, because you know how like everybody in like the normal space is always late to the party when certain things come along. So my thing is, it's like, you know, months after all the NFT shit has already sort of run its course, Jim Ryan is like, you know, I heard about this NFT thing. You can make a lot of money with using it. What if we were to use that to make PlayStation some more money?
Tony, it turns out that Jim Ryan is just Shaz.
Y'all heard about that new God of War? I mean, the one that came out 6 months ago.
I mean, ultimately, this isn't something we're going to have to worry about because he's just going to toe dip.
No, it's a usual toe dip. That's a Sony toe dip.
Yeah,
So
give people Parappa the Rapper fucking NFT or something, you know.
So what was it? So what does it have to do with their silly reward system that they were
No, we don't know. But the thing is, that this isn't official yet, but it is a patent that Sony has. You know,
Sony NFT.
Yeah. Originally filed last year and published this month, the Sony patent is titled "Tracking Unique In-Game Digital Assets Using Tokens on a Distributed Ledger." Sounds like an NFT, you know. Oh boy, this whole thing is stupid. Yeah, you're right. It's like, okay, gaming companies have pretty much rejected all this stuff, and now you idiots are coming like, oh, you know, it'd be a good idea. NFTs.
That'd be a great idea.
All right, bro. Stupid. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Carlos. You something?
Oh no. I just did a Cockney shit.
I don't know why, but I'm getting this like weird vibe that the first thing we'll see is The Last of Us NFTs.
Oh God.
Well, that's
we'll make the deals even better. We're gonna give you Ellie's. We're gonna give you Ellie's tattoo and a guitar.
I mean, if I was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead.
It'll be real quick. If I was them, I would be smart, and if I were to do this, I would put like Last of Us towards the end because it's the one that everyone's waiting for. So might as well just build up hype for the other IPs and people care less about and end with a bang, I guess.
Yeah. We're gonna take advantage of
Nintendo's
all those...
gonna jump onto this 20 years from now, you know.
Yeah, it's like, hey, remember NFTs? What?
Yeah.
NFTs.
Miyamoto goes, yes, I've heard of this NFT thing. Perhaps we can put Mario in it.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if maybe that's why Jim Ryan is actually mad at Microsoft. Maybe he went to them with the stupid idea of making Call of Duty NFTs, and Phil Spencer's like, yeah, no, that's dumb. We're not going to do that. Is it? Oh, this is anti-competitive.
Oi! How dare you!
Wait, Yuji Naka did what?
Uh-oh. What do you do?
Oh, yeah.
He
Wait, is this the Yuji Naka?
Yep.
Like Sonic Yuji Naka?
Sonic. Yeah.
Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office arrested 57-year-old game creator Yuji Naka in context of insider trading related to new installment from popular Dragon Quest franchise. What the fuck did I just read?
Whoa.
He's like, yo, Square Enix, what's going on with that new Dragon Quest, son?
What
Crazy.
the fuck?
Should I be investing in some Square?
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into this later. What, Yuji Naka? What is you doing?
Yuji Naka's like, yo, man, I haven't had a good idea in 40 years. Let's do this.
Well, he can sit for another 40 years and wherever they put you for insider trading.
You know,
Next idea, damn, they're probably stricter than here.
Oh yeah, maybe in Japan they'll throw the book at him. He'll be dishonored for the rest of his life.
Yeah, shit, that's probably no joke.
They put a giant
Yuji Naka caught up in insider trading with Dragon Quest. What?
That's
my
so weird.
brain can't even process that sentence.
They slap a kanji on the back of him. That's equivalent to the adultery A. You know, yes. He's forced to wear.
I guess
the scarlet letter.
It'll be
the scarlet kanji. He's sticking on his back, and he's like,
"Oh God, the Akuma shit," you know. All right.
Public humiliation.
Okay, let's end off the night on a couple of good news pieces.
What?
This one is, but nothing set in stone, but gives me a little bit of hope. Apparently, Crystal Dynamics would put out like a poll or something, a questionnaire asking people what franchises they want, and a lot of people were like, "Yo, where's that motherfucking Legacy of Kain?" And they responded was like, "Okay, we heard you guys, we're listening." So
whatever.
We'll see about that.
Well,
what do you want?
It better not be Nosgoth.
That Nosgoth bullshit. We don't want that.
You've broken my heart before.
You know what's funny? Because there was an actual Soul Reaver Legacy of Kain being game developed with that Nosgoth game, but what happened is that they couldn't get it to work out.
No.
There's actually a prototype, but it's actually, to be honest, it's not very good looking.
It's not. They tried a couple of times to bring that back, and he just never took off. Anyway, let me read
It's
this.
because
Go ahead.
It's because the main reason for that is because the Soul Reaver and Legacy of Kain franchise is all fractured. Different people own parts of it. That's why they had to soft reboot Legacy and Kain, for Soul Reavers, because they had the rights to the name, but they didn't have the rights to the way the characters look, or something crazy like that.
It's wild. In a recent launch survey, Crystal Dynamics is asking players what they'd like to see should the Gothic Vampire series Legacy of Kain make a comeback. Respondents are asked to choose whether they prefer the next game in the Legacy of Kain series to be a single-player title, a multiplayer co-op game, or a multiplayer PvP one, and to pick up to 5 genres they'd like the game to be in. They're also asked if they prefer to see a series reboot, an enhanced remaster of an older game, or a remake of an existing title built from the ground up.
But wait a minute.
Yeah.
They don't. They're like they're not. They're all like not like one's a reboot. One's
They're asking
a remake.
people, what do you want?
One's a reboot. One's a remake. Why not a sequel?
Yeah.
I didn't see sequel listed anywhere in that.
Yeah. How about a sequel? How about that? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no sequel listed in this questionnaire.
All right. I mean, to be honest, like I feel like the original Soul Reaver games, if you combined all of those,
yeah,
like if you could somehow combine every single one of those games into one super long game, that might be interesting.
I think a remake would be good.
Yeah, I think you could do a remake of that. In fact, they were all supposed to be one game. Remember that was also those were all those two last Soul Reaver games were all like content that was cut out of the original one.
Yeah, because the first one just kind of Soul Reaver just kind of ended.
Yeah, they give you a little preview as to what's going to happen in the future, and they're like,
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, right.
Next time on Soul Reaver.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be good.
I want Legacy of Kain to come back, man. Yeah. Like I'd love a remake of that shit.
The original PS1 game?
Yeah, the game was dope.
Yeah, it was great. No, I enjoyed that.
And then you could roll into Soul Reaver, and actually tell a more cohesive story between them.
Yeah, it sort of just ends one way, right?
Well, yeah, it ends one way, and then like you wake up 10,000 years later as somebody else, and you're like, "Whoa, what?"
Yeah, and your protagonist gave into the dark side.
Yeah, but it's funny. You can pick the good ending in the. That's what I did in the PS1 version. The pillars were all fixed and everything was nice. Mm-hmm. and then when you play Soul Reaver, it's like wrong choice, boy. You actually was supposed to pick the bad one.
Yeah. All right. So that's that, and then the last thing here, it's finally happening. The Witcher 3 Next Gen is coming December 14th.
Throw a coin to your Witcher.
After all those delays, free upgrade, by the way.
Cool.
How much?
Free.
How much is that compared to $10?
It's less. It's
$10 less. It's 100% discount.
Yep.
So you're telling me that I can just insert my disc and get the next gen version without cost?
Yes.
Wow. What a time we live in where that's a thing.
CD Projekt Red is like, you see, we're not that bad. We give it to you. We like you.
Meanwhile, Sony's like, hey, you want that remake? $70.
Yo, man, we got what you want. We got that remake, and we got the director's cut. Pay us some money.
And this is why I champion CD Projekt Red, because they do stuff like this. It's like, hey, just get the game for free because you already have it. You shouldn't have to pay twice.
So what are the improvements that they're talking about this, other than just it's going to run a little bit better?
Okay, yeah.
I think know. Tony froze.
No, I'm looking at the chaos on Twitter right now.
Yeah. So what? Yeah, is there any information about what this upgrade entails, or is it just going to be like, hey, we're running this on a better console, so now we can actually hit 60 frames per second?
Probably.
Maybe that's it. I don't think they're going to add anything.
I think I know they have like enhanced textures or whatever, because even the PC version is getting an upgrade too.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it.
Isn't it, Brian? Or am I wrong about that?
Oh, I'm just going through.
I thought the PC version was also getting like a cool enhancement as well.
Yo, man, nigga, put some ray tracing on that. You gonna see some
Put some ray tracing on leaves
reflective
and
light.
shit. Yeah.
Well, enough. Yeah, ray tracing is one of those things that they've added.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, sweet stuff. So yeah, and it's the complete edition as well. No, sorry.
Yes, it is. By the way, yes, it is.
So that means that game is like 50 million hours long. Then.
And there's only it's
not
the
bad
Witcher
for free.
3. It's The Witcher 3 and it's Wild Hunt, and that's the only big DLC ahead, right? Or what do they have?
No, it had two: Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you get the complete edition, it comes with both DLCs, which are pretty much like small games in their own right.
There's also more DLC coming, inspired by the Witcher show.
Oh, really?
What's that going?
They're gonna get Henry Cavill to show up.
Yeah, along with the free upgrade coming to Witcher 3 players, CD Projekt Red has also announced that a brand new set of DLC inspired by Netflix's Witcher series will also be made available to players at no cost. On top of that, this brand new content won't be exclusive to the next-gen version of the game either. Interesting.
No, they're going back to 4, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of turn off the DLC. I'm kind of scared of what they'll put in the DLC. It's like, hey, we made like character skins of all the Netflix characters, so you get to enjoy Yennefer and Trish.
You get to be Henry Cavill.
That's stupid. Why you even like the show has nothing to do with? I don't know.
No, you know what they're doing. They saw what happened with Edge Runners, and they're using it as a jumping off point to bump the game again.
That's true.
Yeah, get it back in the zeitgeist. I feel like there's supposed to be a new season of The Witcher supposedly showing up anyways.
With the new guy,
no.
Right?
Yeah, with the new guy, but also there's also like a side story Witcher season with Lucy Liu or something like that. Not Lucy Liu, Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Michelle Yeoh's in the sort of jump off series, so maybe some of that might make it in there. Who knows?
So, no, what they should do is follow in the light of Edge Runners and make it animated, and then get some. I don't know.
There is actually an animated Witcher
it.
movie and series on there. It's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's really good. But again, they should just make it in like a TV show where it's like, hey, it's all animated, and then that way you don't have to deal with all this like people bullshit. It's like, oh yeah, we can actually make the suits look like the suits in the game. You know, make stuff look like the game rather than just kind of nonsense wherever they had in the show. You know, again, like Edge Runners, like it looks very much like the game because it's inspired by it, and
they literally took shots. They literally took screenshots of areas in the game. You can actually go to those places that they show, which is kind of cool.
So, I'm excited. You know, it's cool. Get to play it again, so I'll probably wait. I wonder how this will run on Steam Deck.
Shit!
Oh, yeah.
Brian, will it be deck verified?
Didn't they also enact a new upscaling thing on Cyberpunk on that engine? So I forgot what it's called, but it's some sort of AI upscaling dealie that works out pretty well.
Probably FSR 2.0, I guess.
I think it's 2.1.
It is verified.
Yeah.
I think it's 2.1.
Let's go. Yeah, FSR. Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know,
even PlayStation, all the consoles can run it too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yo, Brian, yo, dog, I heard you like decks.
I do indeed. I do love staring at my huge deck.
So we put a deck in your deck so you can deck while you deck.
Imagine play like a deck builder on your Steam Deck.
That's what I'm saying.
That's gonna be cool. I wonder if how the new version will run on the deck. You know, we shall.
I mean, how did the old one run on it?
It is verified. You know, I wonder if it has like a dedicated Steam Deck mode. You know how some games have it. Like,
deck mode.
Yeah, deck mode.
Dude, they've been really supporting the fuck out of Steam Deck, haven't they?
Yeah, Steam Deck, man, for life. You know.
However, it does make me sad knowing that the next Steam Deck will be the last one.
What?
Steam Deck 2.
Oh yeah, because motherfuckers can't count to 3.
No, what they'll do is they'll call it. What they'll do is because they can't count to 3. What they will do is they will skip to 4. So it'll be the Steam Deck 4.
Well, now didn't they have an operating system version 3 on the Steam Deck? I think they may have learned.
Maybe.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's
they
like
probably put a 0.0 at the end of it.
I think it's on 3.4, but even then, I'm suspicious about that.
Maybe it's not the real 4. You know, I don't know. Gee, knock! I gotta look into this shit.
Oh, Yuji, what are you doing, man? I know Balan Wonderland did horrible for you, but that means you don't need to be going behind and doing some dirty deals.
All right, yeah. But maybe somebody should ask a question about this for the Sunday show. You know, wild Yuji, man. You know. All right. Anyway, no Adam tonight. What happened? I was with the fellas playing that Gears. As you know, was he playing Outriders now or something? We was playing Outriders.
He's trying to pitch me on that one.
Yeah, no, don't do it.
He has to make Adam stories sometime.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you can't just.
Yeah, that is true. It doesn't sustain itself without. I was hanging with the fellas. Oh, Chris. By the way, I wanted to ask Chris a question.
Go ahead. Not the question show, but yeah, sure.
Have you seen the stories about Pokemon? The new Pokemon?
What?
The performance issues?
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, it has frame drops and it's inconsistent frame rate and things like that.
I've been seeing all that stuff, and people like some people have been saying, the Switch hardware has been getting old. And I'm like, motherfuckers, we've been saying this since day fucking one, man.
Right? It's like, to make an excuse for it now, it's like, it's been old since it launched. It's just, it's not getting any better. It was old. Yeah, it was old. It was weak to begin with. And it's like, you keep pushing it, you can only push it so far. So, yeah, I mean, I saw an article, I forgot if it was Games Radar or whoever wrote, and they said it has, like, some horrible frame drops and things running in the open world. I'm like, well, that's great. So that's pretty much most of the game.
Mm-hmm. So you know, now you can't even count on Nintendo's seal of approval or quality.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll be curious when with Zelda how that looks.
Because a lot of the I'm glad you brought this shit up, man. So this week in the office. One of my colleagues, he brings over his Switch, right? Playing Vendetta. He's like, Tony, can you tell me how this is acceptable in 2022? The game looked fucking horrendous. It was these like waterfalls, right? The water just looked like these thick blobs of like, it didn't even look like water. And I'm like, this is real? And I took the thing from him playing. I'm like, yeah, this is an actual game, 2022. And motherfuckers accept this. 10 out of 10 game.
No, man, just tell them, dust off your 360 and play the old one where it looked like water.
I mean, this shit looked like a PS3 game, but then again, it is. If you think about it, right? Like, that's the technology we're dealing with here, you know?
Probably less than
Probably less because at least the PS3 could plug it in, you know, and, you know, keep the, oh my God. But it looked bad. And I'm like, I feel so sorry for Switch users, man. Like, this is what you accept. This is your king, you know. Like, you guys don't know any better. It's very upsetting, you know. It's like dudes living in a third world country. They don't know what they're missing, you know. It's wild. It's wild. The Switch, what a terrible console that is. You know?
Is it like that anime character who's like, is this a game console?
Yeah, that was bad. I'm like, wow. So I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. You saw the Zelda trailer. It looked like it was suffering. It looked like it was struggling. Yeah. You know, and that was like a curated trailer that's supposed to look good. You know. You know what, man? You shouldn't feel sorry. You know, you're right. They know what they're doing. You know, playing on that. Whatever. I'll stop.
All they needed was the next 2, man. That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
Let us down.
We just need Twitter to hang on because that salt, when people go, look at this shit running like crap. How dare you insult him?
Fire him. Fire him.
Destroy him.
Still waiting on that GTA 5 though.
Yeah, right. Hey, where's it at?
Oh man.
Where's it at? And none of those guys are going to come back and go, Tony, you were right. They're not going to do that, you know?
That shit going to be on fridges before it's on that fucking Switch.
Yep. Shit. Just like the same people who were like, oh, this motherfucker's going to give God of War a bad review. He's going to give it a bad review. Even though I've given every Sony game I reviewed a positive review, he's going to give it a bad review. He's going to be like, fuck this guy. He's a piece of shit. He's going to give it a bad score because he hates Sony. I came out, gave a game a 4.5, which is a Tony perfect. None of those guys came back. They go, Tony, you know what? I was wrong about you. None of them.
Of course
not. None, of course not.
Well, it's because you didn't say something piffy on top of it. Like, and what, motherfucker?
Yeah, I wish I could, man. I wish I could. The pains of being a professional. I can't go off on motherfuckers.
Old Tony would have been there.
Oh, I would have, but I like making money now. You know.
Yeah, money is better than that.
I like making money. You know, but I got this podcast to pop off. Nobody watches this shit, so we're good. You know, on Twitter, you know, everybody's on your ass. You know. But it seems like, you know, Twitter may implode according to these people. Oh my God, yo, I'm reading this shit. I'm like, yo, you motherfuckers. Again, it's like Y2K all over again, you know, or the fucking Mayan apocalypse that was supposed to happen in 2012. Oh, it was 10 years ago. We're still here, you know.
Well, Y2K. Shout out to Y2K because Y2K was an actual thing. You know, I work with a lot of developers that are a lot older than I am, and every time it feels like they're World War II stories. It's like I remember working around the clock.
Hey, you know when I was Y2K. Why am I hearing in Adam's voice? You know?
It's Adam probably worked on this stuff.
Probably did.
Oh,
no, when I did this shit.
He was doing technology back in those days. Yeah.
Yo, it was me. I stopped Y2K. Me and my boy Julio. Man, you remember Julio? Yo, it was me, Julio, and Platano, you know? Yo, we was in Times Square watching our ball drop on you. Yo, I hope that code worked.
By the way, you know, Adam's a New Yorker. He would not have been caught dead in fucking Times Square during.
Yeah, that is true. You know,
every legitimate New Yorker does not hit that fucking place.
New Yorkers, we watch that shit on TV, making fun.
They
of
watch it on
TV.
TV.
You know,
as a,
like, look at these motherfuckers. Look at these motherfuckers right here.
Look at these people out in the cold.
I was going to Coney Island. I went by the boonies and I met Dirty Finger.
Dirty
Finger.
But yeah, no, you're right. At least Y2K was an actual thing that could have been really bad, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is just it's fucking Twitter. But I'm kind of paraphrasing my boy Jeffrey here, but I really want somebody to go on Twitter and just go fucking crazy, going fuck it, this thing's gonna die anyway. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want. And then a week later, they gotta, you know, apologize for all the shit they said because Twitter's still around, you know.
Mm.
And I want to say I cheated on my wife, you know, say crazy shit, you know. I was going to see this shit come tomorrow, you know. Oh, my God. Part of me wants Twitter to die, though, to be honest.
I mean,
like, wouldn't that be glorious? It's going to be like that episode of The Simpsons where the kids go outside for the first time. Like, oh, what is that in the sky? You know,
yeah, the Rite of Spring will be playing. People actually calling up each other on the fucking phone instead of tweeting at them.
By the way, you know, it's like Twitter, you know, dying is like the apocalypse, and our Discord chat are like our fallout shelters.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pretty much. Go to Discord. You know.
Yeah, Discord, or what was the other one?
Mastodon. You know, like, okay. Fuck, I'll go see Mastodon, the band, but that's about it, you know? People are stupid. Social media's made you fucking brain dead, you know? Just like mobile games, you know?
Oh!
Bringing it back, man. Bringing it back. Anyway, we're done here, man. Do you have anything to plug around here?
Well, nothing right here, but I know Carlos has something.
Oh,
Yes, indeed. The finale of The Walking Dead is Among Us. It's the finale of the series. We don't know what the hell's going to happen. I'm wondering if Rich is going to like it. But if you guys want to hear a discussion about The Walking Dead and the finale and possible spin-offs and who is going to die, you can catch us on I Am Negan on all your podcasting apps. That's Spotify, that's iTunes, that's all those good podcasting apps. And you can also watch it as a podcast video on YouTube. You just search The Coalition with a K, Coalition with a K, or thecoalition.com, where we post all our shows. You can catch I Am Negan. And for getting that Walking Dead fix, anytime you guys want to hear someone else talk about the show, there's a lot of people that have been strays from the show. It used to be a whole huge phenomenon. It dwindled down to a whole bunch of kind of cult classic kind of following. So you got us to listen to if you guys want to hear someone talk about the show.
there you go. I also want to plug the Crashing Game Night podcast. They are celebrating episode 200, right? Matt and the boys. So go check them out on YouTube and any podcast app that you prefer. They're all over the place, just like Throwdown. So go make sure you check them out. We had a lot of fun in episode 200. We even talked a little bit about God of War, which is a lot of fun. So go check them out. But yeah, man, we're done here. So make sure you follow Throwdown on Twitch and Twitter. As long as Twitter exists, we'll still be on there. And if Twitter does implode, we'll be on Discord. That's the Fallout shelter. And Mob Hits will continue supplying us with all the rumors and all that good stuff,
Rumors will never stop.
The rumors will never stop. Twitter may stop, but the rumors won't. Throwdown is on every podcast app you could think of. Throwdown Show. That's two words, Throwdown Show. Throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes. And if you've been watching us on YouTube and enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything I just said down below. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco. And tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
Yes, raising taxes in the middle of a recession is a good idea.
Fucking idiots, man. All right, people, we will see you. By the way, next week will actually be on Wednesday because it is Turkey Week, Thanksgiving for us Americans here. So we'll be here on Wednesday for the Wednesday for the regular show, but we will be here on Sunday for the Sunday question show. We may be talking about Yuji Naka, and
if you want to catch those Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals, there's some Twitter handles that'll be covering it.
Oh shit! Excuse me, I'll be covering that shit too. So
get ready for that. That's who he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
But not everything, fucking laptops and shit. The stuff I cover on for my daily work.
Man, tell me about these deals.
I got some deals, man. There's some good stuff out there. Hundreds of dollars saved. But we ain't talking about my work right now. So yeah, Black Friday's coming. Don't get trampled out there. Matter of fact, just buy your shit online. Don't go to those stores. Don't be stupid. Stay home.
Yeah, stay safe, man.
Yeah. Don't do that shit. Remember Black Friday, man? Motherfuckers storming, getting killed. Don't do that. Stay home. Go home.
It's not worth saving $50 out of an Xbox Series X. Yes.
Hey, yeah. Shout out to them. They did drop the price, so there you go. Sony's raising the price of the consoles. Xbox is lowering them. So shout out to them.
As opposed to their competitors who will remain nameless.
Yeah, but not Nintendo.
Yeah, but not Nintendo.
That's because they're in a blue ocean.
Yes. All right, people. We'll see you on Sunday. Later.
Latest.
Deuces.